Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining our engineering session for the Manchester College. I'll shortly pass you over to Miles, who is part of the engineering department for the Manchester College. Miles is going to provide you with a showcase of the engineering course this evening. If you have any questions at any point, you can ask them in the live Q&A box, which is just to the right of the screen, and we'll answer as many questions as we can at the end. I'll now pass you over to Miles to get the session started. Hi, Miles.
Hi there, thank you, and welcome everyone to our virtual open day here at the Manchester College. My name is Miles Benjamin, and I'm one of the engineering tutors in our engineering built environment department. I'm joined today here with two of my colleagues, Mo and Andy Addy, and at the back end of this session, I'll pass you over to Andy to give you an insight to the built environment course. So, engineering is what we do. And we strongly believe here in Manchester College that most of our students, or all of our students, should be aiming to achieve a job at the end of all of their training. So with that in mind, what we normally do, what we've established, we've developed 2 industry excellence academies and a center of excellence. And in these, first in academy, we run courses that hopefully would provide learners with some insight into what it actually means to be working. And in our courses, what we've done is to actually place a work placement with an employer for at least 15 days. And these sessions are normally delivered by industry experts, and sometimes we have guest speakers that are the forefront of the sector. We also have as one of the Center of Excellence, and these also provide, well, insights into the work environment. So one of our departments, the Center of Excellence Engineering, is where I'm working, and we provide 2 key courses. The BTEC Level 2 First Extended Diploma in Engineering, which is a 1-year course, and it includes Maths and English GCSE for those students who have not been able to gain the correct grades in their high school life. We also extend to our students a Level 3 Foundation and Extended Diploma, which is a 1- or 2-year course, depending on which one they opt for. The Level 2 First Certificate normally requires students to have at least 4 GCSE, minimum grade 3, and we require most times for them to have Maths and English. This, of course, is necessary because the course itself has, as engineers, we do lots of maths, and it's always a good thing because then, of course, you have to write reports. So English in itself is necessary. Of course, as you will notice, the Level 3 grade is not actually what's accepted by the government. So most times, students will have to be working along with the Maths and English department to achieve the required grade 4. Because grade 4 is the accepted thing that we want from 16 to 18s. Some of the units that we share includes Engineered World, Investigating an Engineered Product, Health and Safety, Computer-Aided Design, and all of these are just aimed to give the learner insight into what real working engineering life has to offer. We also offer Level 3 Foundation Diploma, and this is a 1-year course. Of course, this requires a slightly higher pass rate or pass grade from high schools. And we want 4 GCSEs, minimum 4. And we also require at least Maths, English, and a science. This would, of course, enhance the learner to at least be able to achieve good grades, which hopefully with this qualification will help them to go on to the 2nd year, which is the extended diploma, which would then give them an equivalent to 3 A-levels and take them on to university or a good apprenticeship. Because of course, in this competitive world, they need to be getting out there. The engineering principles is one of them we give, product design, and CAD also comes in as part of the package for that qualification. Now I'm going to show you a video of one of our students who had some experience in the work experience, and her name is Tonya. She's a past student. So just bear with me for a couple of minutes and just have a listen to Tonya. Come on, that's not. There you go.
I worked with Manchester Smart Motorways, MSM, and I had the opportunity to work with civil engineers and carrying out roles such as documentation, manhole survey, and map reading. I gained new skills a lot because it basically opened my eyes to the real world of engineering. So I was able to like manage my time more, be more dedicated and more focused. I actually loved every part of it, but if I have to say the best part, then it was when we went out on site with most of the engineers, because we had to see the practical aspect of what we were doing in the office. So that was really interesting. It's kind of different because I'm gonna study petroleum engineering after now, and my work placement is more of civil engineering, but it really helped me because it's all engineering and it set the platform and foundation for me. So just do it, enjoy the process, and most importantly, you have to use this as an opportunity to like move closer to your future career.
Good. So that's done here. Thank you. All right. So the programs that we run generally, they assist you to gain entry to universities, degree programs, and apprenticeship programs. And as I said, in this competitive world, particularly now with Corona, lots of employers will be looking for high caliber applicants. Universities also will be looking for that. And our courses provide that kind of development for the young person. And with that in mind, most of our graduates typically, as Tonya was saying, end up in lots of different industries. She was thinking about petroleum, but we also have the aerospace industry, automotive, electronics, marine, oil and gas, power generation, and lots of engineering, all types of engineering options that our students can go to. I just have some clips here of some of the things that students have gone on to. Here we have an aerospace engineer, which deals with planes, servicing of planes and getting into engines. We have a mechanical design engineer. Some of the courses we do, some of the units we do lots of designing. So our students learn about doing CAD, and of course that will help them to become a mechanical design engineer. We have microelectronics. We also have lots of electronic in our curriculum that we do right now, and they can go into semiconductor industry, start thinking about ICs, PICs, things like that. And the last one I have here is, of course, green technology. In this world that we are going green, and it's mandatory. I think the Prime Minister recently said by 2030 or something like that, he wants 50% of our energy to be wind power. So we are pushing our students to be green-minded, and therefore our courses take us towards those kind of technologies. I'm now going to hand you over to Adi, who's going to give you the insight into construction and the built environment. Andy.
Andy, sorry, you're just on mute.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Amy. I'm just going to talk you through our offering construction and the built environment. Good evening, everybody. At the end, we've got options for some questions and answers about engineering and the built environment as well. The construction and the built environment team sit as part of the engineering department. Our offer, I'm going to talk to you first about our T-level offer. T-levels are the new gold standard for vocational and technical qualifications. They are being rolled out from September 21. and Manchester College is at the forefront of offering the T-levels in the construction pathways, which include design, surveying and planning, T-level, which is linked to the construction and built environment programs that we currently run. We're also running in our construction department T-levels in site construction, on-site trades, including carpentry, and in building services, which is electrical installation. Tonight, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about built environment. The content of our built environment programs covers a range of skills, knowledge and understanding that will help prepare you for roles across the construction industry. Because many people think the construction industry, where they think of people building things, making things with their hands, but actually there's a wide variety of roles within the industry that include everything from design and planning through to site and project management once the building is being created, and afterwards building maintenance. Could you go back 1 Miles for me a second? We're whizzing through that there. So the range of options that you've got and the range of units that you will cover will prepare you for different roles in the industry, depending on the pathway that you want to go down. We offer a range of units. Miles, if you step forward one. The range of units that we cover will allow you access to understanding the legal, health and safety and regulatory frameworks in the construction industry. In addition to that, you will begin to study the materials and science that underpin construction, design and planning, and underpin the engineering principles of construction. Once you've studied that, you will begin to look at the design and planning of buildings themselves, with exposure to the use of CAD on the course, and an introduction to building information modelling, which is the industry standard for design, planning and maintenance of construction of buildings in the UK today. In addition to that, we'll introduce you to principles of management in the construction industry, so that you begin to understand the processes and policies that are in place within the industry. Thank you, Miles. So some of the examples of units that you cover, the unit titles, we look at sustainable construction. Miles mentioned a green agenda. There's a huge green agenda in the construction industry to make the industry as green as possible. We look at construction engineering, construction management, design and graphical detailing, which is linked to those things that people might be interested in if they're interested in the architecture route, building surveying, and the legal responsibilities in construction as well. Miles? The courses provide learners with opportunities to focus on the development of higher level skills in a technological and management context linked to the construction industry. So they are transferable. You could use them to move into other areas as well, but they are placed in the context of the construction industry as a whole. The development of learners' practical knowledge, their understanding of and skills that underpin performance in the workplace, are also delivered in a construction context. But again, these are transferable skills that you could use across a range of degree programs or employment opportunities after you've completed these courses. And they are a good preparation for employment and further training and professional development for people in the industry. The progression for our 16 to 18-year-olds from these programs is usually either into a degree program related to construction and the built environment, and once you've completed the HNC, for example, you're eligible for members of various professional bodies. Another option is to take a degree level apprenticeship. These are becoming more common in construction and more widely. A level 4, 5 and 6 apprenticeship program in the construction industry is something that you could take after you've taken a level 3 in the built environment. Thank you, Miles. So beyond the level 3 program, we also offer an HNC program at level 4 in construction and the built environment. Many people who are already in the construction industry come to take this course with us in order to improve their career prospects or to gain promotion in the industry. And there are people who come from other industries looking to get into the construction industry who take the HNC with us as well. Thank you.
Right. We have a video here. Yep.
The very best of our students who apply for the built environment programs will be eligible for our scholarship programs that you've just seen on that video. The scholarship program is a limited entry course. This year we've only taken 22 students on the course. Last year there were 12, and the reason for that is we work closely with industry partners where we place students for 2 days a week, every week of their course, so that they can link their studies in college for 3 days a week with actual work experience on site with some of the country's largest constructors. One of our groups of scholarship students this year, all 12 students will be working with one of the country's largest construction companies, Wilmot Dixon, in partnership with the Manchester College. Mo, who's going to help me answer the questions after this, has got management experience with Wilmot Dixon before becoming a teacher in the department. So I'm sure he'd be happy to talk to you about the opportunities that management offers in the construction industry. In order to get onto the scholarship programme, you will need 2 grade 6s in English and maths, and preferably science at grade 4 or better, as well as 3 other GCSE grades. It's a very competitive programme, but the rewards are really high for those students who are very committed and engaged with the programme. And frankly, it's almost like an extended job interview for some of the largest construction companies in the UK that we work with in the Northwest. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Andy. And yep, here we are. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Miles. Yeah, we've had quite a lot of questions which have come through during the presentation, which is great. So I'll just start from the top. So the first question is, what can a BTEC in engineering or built environment lead to? Not sure who wants to take that.
Miles?
Yes, I can take that. Right, first let's start with level 2. Level 2 generally is geared towards students who haven't done particularly well in the GCSE maths and English. So in addition to give them a foundation in engineering, we also try to enhance their development in the maths and English area to prepare them to get to level 3. Once you're in level 3, the aim most times is to get to university. The full extended diploma is an equivalent to 3 A-levels. So if you spend 2 years with us in the BTEC level 3, that could give you an entry to the first year at the university. Of course, what's been happening recently, lots of employers have been tapping into this, and they've been getting apprentices finishing the extended diploma, which gives them a higher level apprentice that they can then nurture at the work site with them, and also they can send them to university because they already have the required entry to get to university. So the diplomas can take you to university.
Could I just add to that as well, that our engineering course gives a wide-ranging introduction to a range of fields in engineering. So it prepares you to go into mechanical engineering, electronic engineering, civil engineering. There's a whole aerospace, automotive, there's a whole range of engineering fields that you could choose to go and study at university after completing the level 3 extended diploma.
That's brilliant, thank you. Somebody said, what engineering topics are covered on the course?
Right, we do materials and processes, we do manufacturing design, we do CAD, it's computer aided design, we do electrical theory, lots of maths, higher maths for calculus. Yeah, so we do, as Andy said, most of the major foundation work that you need to explore most engineering fields, we actually touch on it. So our students generally, when they get to university, are much better prepared for the real engineering courses than actually someone who has done 3 A-levels and just specialize in 3 subjects. We do our units, we do about 15 units. That's 1-5, so we have a quite wide range of areas that we touch on in preparation for university with our students.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Miles. Somebody has asked, there's a couple of questions about T-levels. So somebody said, what is a T-level? And then somebody else has said, is T-levels better or A-levels? Okay.
T-levels are the government's plan to raise the status of vocational and technical qualifications to the same level of A-levels. And the specifications that have been published are very challenging. I used to be involved with A-level delivery at a previous job, and the T-levels are meant to be as challenging as a suite of A-levels, but they're focused on technical and vocational routes rather than academic routes. So it is equivalent in every way to taking a full A-level program. They start with us next year. We are running T-levels from September 21, and as I mentioned earlier, we'll be running them in 3 pathways in the Manchester College within construction. There is the construction and built environment route, which is the design, surveying and planning, and then there are 2 construction trades routes, one focused on building services, electrical installation, and one focused on on-site construction through carpentry. But they are supposed to prepare you both for university, if you wanted to then take a degree, which was a vocational or technical degree, or to go into the industry afterwards.
Brilliant, thank you, Andy. Somebody else has said, do you offer a structural engineer course?
Not specifically, but there are elements of structural engineering that I think would be covered in both the engineering BTEC and in the built environment engineering principles units. Yes. I think that they would both touch on structural engineering.
Yes, they do. Yeah, it is a one part of a unit that do lots of calculations in terms of structures. Yeah. Okay,
brilliant. Thank you. Somebody has asked, would this scholarship be a good route for an apprenticeship in architecture?
This is a really interesting one, and Mo, feel free to chip in anytime you like. It's a really interesting one because architecture is a very elite field, very competitive to get into. Often to study architecture as a degree, you need a particular suite of A-levels, and it's a bit like studying to be a doctor. It can take up to 7 years to be a fully qualified architect. However, there are many roles around architecture that you can get into in the construction industry. And I'll just ask Mo if he could add a little bit there, because I know he's turned his mic off, his mic on. And it would be a good stepping stone to take you into some of those associated roles and potentially into an architecture apprenticeship. Mo, do you want to add?
Yeah, definitely. So, just on the back of what Andy's just said there, it is a good stepping stone, a good foundation if you were to go down the architectural route. Whether you be on the scholarship or the non-scholarship courses or groups, it will give you a good foundation and understanding of such things as building regulations, planning. It will give you an overview of like the REBA plan of works, management techniques. These are all things that you need to know and need to have to be successful architects. Without understanding the construction side, you won't ever really be able to succeed on the architectural side. So you need they kind of they're married together. So to have that understanding will set you up for when you go to university. I know someone who, from personal experience, who done architecture. She ended up being she is the senior design manager for the region for ISG. So it could be that you take the construction route and you take the scholarship, with us, and then you find out, other roles that might interest you, and that might want to change your mind in the, in the couple of years that you could potentially spend with us.
Brilliant, thank you, Mo.
I think just to add, I think there's one of the things people don't realise about the construction industry is just how many varied roles there are in the industry. Particularly in the design, planning and management side, there's a huge range of different roles, and our students are beginning to discover those on the scholarship programme because they're spending so much time with employers.
That's great, thank you. Somebody's asked, what campus is engineering offered at?
We offer engineering at the Openshaw campus for 16 to 18-year-olds. There is an engineering route for adults who might be aspiring to engineer at university through the Access programme, which I think is offered at St John's. That's not part of our department. They would need to talk to the Access team about taking that programme as an adult.
Lovely, thank you. And somebody else has just said, actually, do you offer this course for adults? So
we don't offer the engineering BTECs to adults. As an adult, if you're interested in taking engineering at university, you could take a 1-year access program, access to engineering, which would then lead you either to a foundation or first year of a degree program, because it's about preparing you to step back into study and preparing you for university. It's more suitable for adults than our programs are.
Brilliant, thank you. Somebody said, what grades do you need for architectural engineering, and can you get an apprenticeship after this?
We're asking for the architectural scholarship program, the Built Environment Scholarship program. As I mentioned before, 2 grade 6s in English and maths, and another 4 GCSEs at grade 4 or better, preferably including science. Could you ask the second part again, Amy, please?
Yeah, and can you get an apprenticeship after this?
Yes, there is a national agenda to increase the number of students taking level 4, 5 and 6 apprenticeships. And increasingly, apprenticeships at degree level are becoming available across a wide range of industries, including the construction industry. So you could do a level 3 program with us in, let's say, engineering or built environment, and then do a level 4 program either in an engineering discipline or in a construction field.
Brilliant, thank you. Somebody said, in aerospace engineering, do you need high grades?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Yes,
we want the best people in aerospace engineering, so those planes don't fall out of the sky. But seriously, yes, again, to get into the more specialist areas of engineering, the universities where you would take those courses are going to be looking for good grades. Okay. So if you get triple distinction on an extended diploma, it's the equivalent of getting 3 A's at A level. It's the same UCAS points as 3 grade A's. But I would argue it suits some people better to study this route because they can get their grades through continuous assessment rather than end exam. However, I've got to be honest and say that some universities, some of the elite universities, look less favourably on the BTEC than the A-level route. Nevertheless, if you get triple distinction on a BTEC extended diploma in engineering, you would be able to get access to an aerospace course because you would have very high UCAS points on your application.
Brilliant, thank you. Somebody said, what grade do you need for automotive engineering?
I'm less certain about that, but I can say from personal experience, there's a wide range. I once supported a student to access automotive engineering at Bolton University. That particular student had not done as well in their courses as they expected to do and had got quite low grades at the end of their course and hadn't made their original university choices, but they were able to go and do automotive engineering at Bolton University off the back of the grades that they did get. If you wanted to go somewhere at one of the elite universities, you would need high grades. So actually there are probably opportunities regardless of which grade levels you get. But if you're asking me the question, you need to think about aiming higher, okay? Because I would want our students to be aiming to get triple distinctions across everything, rather than worrying about what's the minimum grade I need to get in to do automotive engineering. Okay. Get the best grade you can. Give yourself more choice.
Sorry, somebody's asked about a T-level question. Can I apply for a T-level?
Yes. This autumn, we're taking applications for T-level programs, which will start in September 21. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. And then somebody said, when do applications open?
Imminently is my understanding. I think right after half term, we'll be taking applications for next year's students.
Somebody said, does the level 3 course last 2 years?
Yes, a typical level 3 course will last you 2 years if you're doing a BTEC. You can step off engineering after the foundation diploma, which is a 1-year course, or you can top up out in the second year to an extended diploma, which is when you've got the equivalent of 3 A levels. So typically students do stay for 2 years over a level 3 program.
Brilliant, thank you. Somebody's just asked for sort of confirmation. Were you talking about sort of, you know, grades and what grades people need? Someone said, do you have to get above level 6 in maths and science?
For the scholarship program, we ask for grade 6 in maths and English, and preferably a grade 4 or above in science. For the standard built environment and engineering programs, we asked for 4 grade 4s, including English and maths, in order to come onto the level 3 engineering and built environment programs.
Brilliant, thank you. Another question here about civil. What do you need for a civil engineer? What do you need for a civil engineer? Which subjects?
Oh, that's a tough call. Mo and Miles, do you want to fight over that one?
Well, there's actually, well, it depends on what route you want to go. If you go on the built environment route, I think Mo would probably be able to give you some insight into that. I know, yeah, so go on, Mo.
Sorry, yeah. So in terms of civil engineering, some units that we would cover that would help you would be science and materials, building technology, the CAD units as well. They'll give you some foundation towards, you know, if you were to go on to university and do civil engineering. From my own opinion, I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's not impossible to go from doing the construction and built environment to doing engineering, but obviously you would need your maths and your science. So that's where maybe, you know, the likes of Benjamin, he might be able to, you know, offer you that more of that technical understanding that, you know, that you need.
Yeah. So I was thinking like that. If a student comes into us and says, well, they just want to do civil engineering, we generally would point them towards built environment. But having said that, in previous years, we have had lots of students who have done our engineering courses and have been very successful going into the civil engineering field because of the type of maths that we offer here. Because of course we do lots of structures, we do lots of the things with calculus, things like that, and because of that, universities are very favorable for students who come from our extended diploma, in particular, because of the units that they've been studying here at the Manchester College. So even though they've done engineering, they still can get into the civil engineering field very easily. But yeah, but normally they would do this construction and built environment course to progress onto that.
Lovely, thank you very much. Somebody has asked, what's better, university or an apprenticeship?
Entirely depends on the individual. I think the important thing in trying to answer that question for that person would be to find out as much as they can about what their apprenticeship program would involve. Going to work and learning while you work suits some people better than others. Some people prefer the classroom and being in seminars and having a chance to have that dialogue. It entirely depends on what your preference is, and what I would advise is that you get as much information about the different routes as you can before you make a decision.
Brilliant, thank you very much. So just got a couple more questions. Somebody said, can I apply for more than one course?
Of course, you can apply for as many courses as you like, but you can only pick one at the end of the day. Lovely,
that's great. I lied, I said there was more than one question, but that's it, that's all the questions now. Is there anything that you guys would like to add before we end the session?
No, I don't think you. Thank you to everybody who's come on tonight to hear what we've got to say. I hope you've heard something of interest, and we'll get your applications in the coming months.
That's lovely. Thank you very much to you all. And thanks everyone for coming on to our engineering session this evening. If you'd like to apply for the Manchester College, please visit the website. And as we are the #1 college in Greater Manchester, we do expect lots of applications, so get in there early. If you would like to speak to somebody about applying, or you'd like any more information, our schools liaison team are on standby, ready to take your call this evening. The numbers in the chat box, in the Q&A box. And for any learners with any special educational needs and disabilities, we do have a transition team who make that move from college to school, a really positive experience. So again, their email address is in the Q&A box. So thank you ever so much again for joining us this evening, and I hope you have a nice one. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.